have us moving towards where we desire to go in terms of our vision, in terms of outcomes, or recycling an old pattern, right? I'm sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about here.
Tiara ko undi esta Andrea tia ka mbara si Andrea tiara. Welcome to exploring the wild, ancient, and cosmic worlds with Jax.
Hello YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jax and I'm really excited to be sharing with you in this video what has dropped in a lot over the last few weeks, actually, as something that I really need to share, because one of the things that continues to happen is I have a lot of clients who reach out to me and are like, okay, I'm really stuck with making a decision. And decision making is actually one of the hardest things to be doing, especially with our glorious imagination intact, where we can literally imagine 1 trillion outcomes for the one situation. But the reality is that in any given moment, we really only have a binary choice to make. Although the outcomes can be abundant, in any given moment, we can make a decision from a binary choice, which means two, that will either have us moving towards where we desire to go in terms of our vision, in terms of outcomes, or recycling an old pattern, right? I'm sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about here. This is something that I've unintentionally well practiced over the last few years, and I'm really excited to share this. You could call it a tactic, a strategy, a technique, something that has really landed in my body for me that works really well, which helps me make decisions based on where I want to go as opposed to what I don't want to recycle in my life. So, what is the question? So, the best way for me to share this question with you is to actually give you an example of how I've used it. The question being, what would my future self do? Now, there's two parts to this. First part is to actually get super clear on your future self. So for me, right now in this present moment, my future self is so abundant in all areas of her life. I have an enterprise which is global. I have a massive team of hundreds of people. I am traveling all over the world to share amazing, incredible, and useful messages. I'm in my magic all day, every day. I do not have to worry about money ever. That is gone out of my vortex because I am creating from a space of pure abundance, that it's not even a thing that I need to ever think about, ever. The most beautiful part about this is, in fact, I live this life right now. It's so incredible. But I haven't always lived this life. Now, this is literally manifestation in action. And this, I shared with you just now, a very short piece of my future self. in my vision, I know where I'm living. I know what my house looks like. I've got high ceilings and it's timber and it's beautiful and it's spacious. My family has grown. My partner is living his dream life and sharing his magic exactly how he desires. There's peace and harmony all over the world. This is a beautiful vision for me that I stay on course with. But the thing is, what you've got to know is when you do have a vision, the vision doesn't create itself and it doesn't create outside of you. In fact, the vision comes to life when we navigate our inside, how we operate, how we execute, how we make decisions based on the vision, the prioritizing of the vision. So part one is getting really clear on how you envision or how you desire to live your life in 3 years' time. Let's say 3 years, because a lot can happen in 3 years, right? But sometimes we envision a year and we don't feel like we've got enough time, so we freak out about it. So let's say 3 years. So the question I have for you is, what is your vision of yourself, of your life? What have you created in 3 years? Write it down. Get really, really clear. Get really clear on how it feels. Now, what's next? So let me give you an example. I think it was about 1.5 years ago where I was faced with a really, really challenging situation. It had everything to do with my friendship circle. I was really close with a group of friends, and we've been close for so many years, for 10 years. Over 10 years. We would often catch up. We were super trusting within our circle. But then something happened where I was cast aside, and I don't know why. But that's all perfect because things like this happen. Now, what I want to speak into right now is the moment that I was casted out. This was a very painful moment for me. But at the same time, I know that there was a lesson and an opportunity in it as well. Just know that I am so deeply in love and appreciation for my girlfriends, and we've all gone separate ways, but there's no tension and there's no anger or sadness around this story at all anymore. But there was, I won't lie, it was a real kick in the guts. But how do you move through the kick in the guts? This is the piece that I want to speak into, because I'm certain we all experience moments where we really feel in the bottom of the barrel, right? And sometimes there's such unexpected experiences. This could have something to do with work, it could have something to do with friends, it could have something to do with family, it could have something to do with investments, or even love. There's always times where we're faced with an opportunity. I never see a challenge as a challenge anymore. I always see it as an opportunity to behave and execute the decision based on my future self. So while I was in the well of sadness and questioning what happened, I was sitting on my couch 1.5 years ago when this happened. I was cast out and I was like, oh, what's going on? My past self, who was a hurt girl, would have done things very differently to what I'd chosen. But what was already in my behavior patterns was to be angry, was to be sad, was to react, which is sending messages, which is toxic reactions. That was something that was ingrained in my behavior because that's how I had behaved in the past. Now, in that single moment, the question that literally saved me and forecasted such a clear future with so many beautiful now, beautiful relationships in my circles, and even for myself, my relationship with myself, the question I asked was, what would my future self do in this moment? Now, I had to really envision my future self, and I had already got really clear on who she is. And I realized that my future self would be so busy, not say busy, but involved in many humanitarian projects. My future self would have a team of people to really invest my energy into. In fact, my future self had done so much inner work that she was so forgiving and loving, and literally who she behaved how she said she was, which was with integrity and virtue. So in that single moment, I had to ask myself, what would my future self do? And I had to tap into what virtue and integrity, compassion, forgiveness, and love was in that moment, even though I didn't feel it at the start of the day. Once I tapped into that, I was able to make decisions and respond with love, not just to my friends, but also to myself. This literally changed everything for me. And from that moment, what happened was that every challenging decision I faced, I always ask myself, what would my future self do in this moment? If it was a business decision, if it was a friendship decision, if it was a relationship decision, if it was a investment decision, I really became so great at mastering tapping into my future self. Now, what happened from there is that the vision that I envisioned continues to unfold and create around me because I continue to behave and execute and make decisions from the future version of myself. Every single time I choose the future version of myself, I literally sever behavioral cords that connect me to the past version of myself. Therefore, the past experiences, which never, ever recycle again, because I'm creating a new future. And this future is incredible. My every present moment is amazing because I'm able to really tap into the future version of me and really make decisions from that place. Forgiveness, compassion, love, harmony, peace, all of the things that I know I am here to be. And it's so nice. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. Whenever you have a decision to make, know that there's only a binary choice, which is to choose love or to choose fear. This can be in any moment. We have 64,000 thoughts a day, every single day. That's 64,000 binary choices. Choose love or fear. Expand into the experience or retract. But know that if retraction is your pattern, you will recycle the past again. Until you break a pattern, your future can never be a creation. So when you have an experience where you usually retract, what would it feel like to expand? Therefore, what would it feel like to create a new future? Anyways, I hope this has been helpful. And if you have any questions, please pop it in the comments. I'm here to help. And I hope you have the most glorious day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.